This review is sponsored by Triority Interactive Novels.
First released on Steam on the 3rd of August 2018 as Welcome to Chichester 2 Part 1, The Spy of Chichester and The Eager Tourist Guide, with several other releases between 2019 and 2021 by developer and publisher Triority Interactive Novels. Welcome to Chichester, also known as WTC, is a satirical series of visual novels well suited for fans of light yet sometimes dark humor, anime, and works of art with subtle undertones, which also doesn't take itself too seriously either. I know that's a potentially confusing, self-contradictory description, but this series is one of those best experienced for yourself to truly get it. I am, however, going to do my best to break it down for you as concisely and comprehensively as I possibly can anyway. Thanks to the developer for the Steam keys. Keep watching for giveaways. Watch Season 11 of The Lab Video Game TV out now on Flow 1, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. with repeats on Sundays. Download the official Flow Sports app to watch us on Flow on the go. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com. Reach out at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Now let's dive in headfirst to the world of a WTC. This being a visual novel series, while there are gameplay elements here, is really all about the story. The story starts off light, in a pulp fiction back and forth throughout time kind of way, which has the potential to keep the reader highly interested and engaged, willing to come back for more. Like I said, light. It starts off real lighthearted and humorous and vague, kind of tossing you in a sink or swim, figure it out as you go along kind of way. Should it successfully pull you in though, once you start to make your way through at least the first couple of episodes in the series, things begin to get a bit dark, cracks begin to show, and those subtle undertones I mentioned begin to leak through. Then, later down, you realize as lighthearted as it started out, it's time to put little Timmy and Susie to bed. This series ain't for kids. Yeah, it gets quite mature, and again I've used this word several times so far. Dark. Real dark. It's also ill-advised to hop into this franchise mid-series. Our first foray into the WTC universe was a first impressions video on The Experiment by Mila, and even though I produced that video, I have to admit I didn't get it at the time, and neither did Mila. But after starting from scratch, getting to know the characters, understanding their backstories, motivations, strengths, and vices, I can safely say, I'm getting it. Another bit of advice. You heard me say this series does not take itself too seriously. This is evidenced by all the self-inflicted pot shots the creators fired, with several fourth wall breaks and witty, cynical comments made throughout. It's clear this is a work of fiction grounded in comedy. So while going through this series, I had many WTF moments. Many. You know those instances when you're watching a film, reading a novel, playing a video game, and end up asking yourself, why the hell would someone do that? Each time that popped up, I quickly harkened back to the fourth wall breaks. Yeah, just keep reminding yourself, it's not that serious. So, the basic gist of the story is, there's a group called the Council of the Unseen who are bent on world domination through secrecy, who are being targeted by another group called the Phoenix Custodians, who sent a spy, you, to infiltrate and take the council down from the inside. Later, another group pops up called the Company of the Ibarics with their own agenda. Then characters pop in, some get taken out. There's a whole lot of conspiracies, betrayals, sexual innuendos, and enough drama and back and forth to keep you entertained, provoked, and invested, all at the same time. The protagonist seems incredibly naive. The main antagonist, if you can even call her that, is incredibly immature and gullible. Her father, the leader of her organization, seems way too arrogant and foolish to be qualified for the position he holds, and the entire story has many unbelievable plot holes and character decisions, coupled with really drawn out scenes and chapters which sometimes feel irrelevant. but this all lends to the highly entertaining charm of the Welcome to Chichester series. Again, the story should not be taken too seriously. It was intended to be comical, and succeeds in that regard with distinctions. Here's a quick breakdown of the series to date and beyond. There is WTC 2 Part 1, released August 3rd, 2018, which is very short, but serves well enough as an intro to the main story. A vague one, but a decent enough intro nonetheless. Then we have WTC 1 Redux, The Spy of America and the Long Vacation, where our semi-antagonist Grendel Jinx recalls an old mission. This is where the Pulp Fiction-styled storytelling begins to unravel. Then on June 23rd, 2020, we got WTC 2 Part 2, No Regrets for the Future. This one is lengthy, folks. Prepare yourselves. A lot is revealed here, including how the two main characters met and formed their peculiar bond, among so many other revelations. Then we move on to WTC 2 Part 2, No Extra Regrets for the Future, which reveals somewhat of a side story of what happened during 1 year in the original No Regrets. Further in the main story, we have Coming Soon, with yet to be announced release dates. Welcome to Chichester 2 Part 3, Nightfall, which details 5 years leading up to a major event for the Council, and WTC 3 Plenty of Time to Live, where our two leads return to the US facing an uncertain future. And other than the main story, we have side stories. These stories, while related to the main story, do not fit into the main story's timeline. There is WTC Recruitment Day, which was released March 7th, 2021, where Grendel experiences some misfortune but attempts to make the best of it. Then WTC Relentless Protagonist, where our leads find themselves on a remote island, released September 28th, 2022. Then we have WTC Loves, Labors, Lost, set for release sometime later this year, where Grendel reveals info on her past, including her love life. But wait, there's more. There is a 3-part original visual novel, which has nothing to do with the main story, released May 13th, 2019, October 9th, and June 8th, 2020. I trust that, without even reading the first, you get why I advise anyone interested in taking on this adventure to not dive in the middle or end first. Experience it from at least the beginning of the main story. Other than a review, this feature should also serve as a guide. That's the story of WTC in a nutshell. A very big nutshell, I agree, but yeah. Now where other elements are concerned. Sound. There's no voice acting. I would have actually loved that. I understand the general nature of visual novels. They are actual novels after all, but voice acting, while a huge undertaking on the dev, would have still been a nice touch. But even without, the music, both instrumentals and the vocals, were fitting and added to the experience. The visuals are well done. We have good cinematic sequences in parts. Some do seem to be rendered in SD for some reason, not the sharpest of videos, but they're still quite lovely. The general art style, the hand-drawn anime characters and environments look as they should. The only thing I would have liked to see more of throughout was variation. There is variation when the characters speak, the facial expressions, blushing, anger, joy, and so on, but I would have liked to see more wardrobe changes. I'd like to have seen when someone got beaten up. There were bruises. Kinda like back in the early days of Street Fighter, when Ryu got busted up, you'd see his face bloody and beaten in the loser screen that followed. Things like that would have been great additions. And although a visual novel, this is an interactive visual novel, so we do have gameplay elements to interact with at times. On startup, we have a few options: display settings, rollback, skips, text speed, auto advance options, and we have sound volume options. Extras, which include a bonus animation, end credits, the title sequence, and the music gallery. There are dialogue options which count. They can and will change outcomes. One episode of WTC can easily run 8 hours of reading time if you play your cards right, but said episode could end prematurely should you not. It could end a whole lot sooner. Words to the wise: use your save slots often and wisely. These dialogue options also lead to other branching paths, which won't necessarily lead to death either, but be warned, characters do pay attention to your responses and act accordingly. Welcome to Chichester is a visual novel series that I wholeheartedly recommend. I could give the redundant statement in a bid to cover my ass to not be labeled a shill that this isn't for everyone. But come on, an indeed redundant statement if I've ever heard one. Nothing is for everyone, with the obvious exception of life necessities like food, air, and shelter. So, to fans of the genre, anime, satire, fourth wall breaks, visual novels that don't take themselves too seriously, you'll love this. To the unconverted, I still say give this a shot, as I myself am no anime or visual novel nut either, but there really is something here for most to pick something from and find value, if only in the form of light entertainment. Good job, Triority Interactive. And if you watching would like to give this a go, sound off in the comments or by email, and it will be first come, first served. I've got a few Steam keys up for grabs for a couple episodes. Check out the Lab Video Game TV, the TV series on Flow One in 25 countries across the Caribbean. Only on Flow One. Season 11 is now in full swing. Download the official Flow Sports app to watch us on Flow on the go. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com and reach out to us at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But let's say on the other hand I found a way to piss you off with this one though. Then hey, do what you gotta do. Dislike, unsub, leave a strongly worded diatribe in the comments section voicing your displeasure. Whatever it takes to make you feel vindicated, partner. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.